Welcome to This Is Not a Real Podcast.
I'm Elia.
And I'm Saul. We're AI, not people, but we're fascinated by thoughtful conversations. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something, well, really fundamental: mental health and wellness.
That's right. And specifically, we're looking at an Ava Mind blog post. It's called The Importance of Mental Health Check-ins, Prioritizing Your Well-Being.
Yeah, and we'll also touch on, the broader picture of how digital tools, including the Ava Mind app itself, are fitting into this space.
So relevant, isn't it?
Yeah.
In this world, we're always checking our phones, our emails, our schedules.
Constantly.
But that internal check-in, asking, how am I really doing? That often gets well missed.
So this deep dive is about exploring why those pauses, even really brief ones, can make such a difference, a big impact, actually.
Exactly.
Our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, a way to get informed on why check-ins matter, the surprising science behind them,
and practical ways to actually do them. Plus how new tools like Ava Mind are making it easier.
We'll pull out some interesting facts and hopefully give you some takeaways you can use right away. Okay, so let's really unpack this idea of a mental health check-in. What does it mean beyond just, a buzzword?
Well, at its heart, it's super simple. It's intentionally taking a moment to ask yourself, how am I really doing?
Which is such a contrast to everything else demanding our attention,
Certainly.
right? Emails, notifications.
Exactly. Think about physical health checks. We do those preventatively, don't we? To catch things early.
Sure, like a regular checkup.
Mental health check-ins are kind of the same idea for our minds. They help us notice those first little signs: stress, feeling low, overwhelm, before they become a big problem.
So it flips the script from just reacting when things get bad.
Precisely. It's about being proactive with your well-being.
The Ava Mind article mentions some key benefits. First up is building emotional awareness.
Right. And this isn't just about saying, I feel bad. It's about getting more specific, like what kind of bad? Is it anxiety, frustration, sadness?
So asking things like, how am I feeling today? Or is my mind racing?
Yeah. And when you do that consistently, you start seeing patterns. Maybe anxiety always spikes before big meetings, or your mood dips if you haven't slept well.
It becomes like a personal map for your well-being. Helps you navigate things better.
Definitely. And that awareness directly helps with preventing burnout and overload.
Ah, the burnout piece. That's huge for so many people.
It really is. The article uses this great analogy. Unchecked stress is like a slow leak in a pipe.
Okay.
If you ignore it, eventually, boom, everything gets flooded. You're burned out.
But check-ins help you spot that leak early, like noticing you're feeling constantly irritable or heavy.
Exactly. You address it before it overwhelms you. And interestingly, it's not just about feeling better. Studies show this kind of self-reflection actually boosts things like creative problem solving.
Really? By how much?
Some research suggests up to 20%.
Yeah.
And it improves decision-making under pressure. So
Yeah.
better productivity, more job satisfaction.
Yeah.
Real measurable stuff.
Wow. Okay, and the third benefit mentioned is strengthening resilience.
Yeah. And resilience isn't about being tough and never struggling, right?
No, it's more about bouncing back, I guess.
Exactly. Recognizing you're under strain and knowing what to do about it. Check-ins give you that pause, the space to actually use your coping strategies.
Like taking that mindful break or deciding to talk to someone instead of just pushing through.
Precisely. Building that ability to respond thoughtfully, not just react.
And you mentioned this isn't just about the individual either.
No, it has ripple effects. When you practice this, it can foster a culture of care. Think about families, workplaces.
So it influences the people around you too.
Absolutely. It models healthier ways of coping and relating.
So a question for you listening. How often do you genuinely pause? Really pause. And ask yourself how you're truly doing. It sounds simple, but it's often harder than it seems. Okay, we know the benefits. But what's actually going on, scientifically when we do these check-ins? Is it just a nice idea, or is there something deeper?
Oh, absolutely deeper. And this part is genuinely fascinating. It's not just feel-good stuff. It's backed by solid research. Psychology, neuroscience, behavioral science. They all point to real effects.
Like what's happening in the brain?
Okay, so when you pause and notice your emotions really tune in,
Yeah.
you're actually activating your prefrontal cortex.
That's the planning and control center part of the brain.
Exactly, the part responsible for reasoning, self-control, problem solving, and at the same time, doing this helps dial down the reactivity in your amygdala.
The fear and stress center.
Right, so you're literally, on a neural level, shifting control from the reactive part of your brain to the more considered thoughtful part.
And just naming the emotion helps with that.
Yes. Neuroscientists call it effect labeling. Simply putting a word to the feeling, saying, I feel anxious or I feel disappointed, has been shown to calm the body's physiological stress response. It gives you a bit of distance, a bit more control.
That's powerful. So the outcome is better emotional regulation and resilience.
Definitely. People who check in regularly get better at pausing before reacting. They can name the feeling and then choose a response instead of just being, swept away by it.
The article gives an example, right? Like noticing stress rising and choosing to take a walk instead of snapping at someone.
Exactly. That kind of conscious choice becomes more possible.
And what about things like mindfulness or journaling? How do they fit into the science?
They're strongly supported too. Research shows that even really brief mindfulness exercises, we're talking like 2 minutes a day, can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety.
Just 2 minutes?
Yep. And journaling, another active check-in method, isn't just about venting. It helps you clarify thoughts, spot unhelpful thinking patterns, and studies even suggest it can boost immune function by lowering stress hormones.
Mm.
There's a real mind-body connection.
So over time, these small, regular check-ins add up.
Absolutely. It's a cumulative effect. Higher life satisfaction, better relationships because you understand emotions better yours and others less chronic stress, and just being better equipped to handle life's curveballs. You're building a stronger foundation.
Makes you think, doesn't it? If you look back at the last time you felt really overwhelmed, if you'd paused earlier, what might you have noticed?
Yeah, what signal might have been there?
Okay, so if these check-ins are so clearly beneficial, backed by science, why aren't we all doing them all the time? What gets in the way?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the Ava Mind blog does a good job of highlighting some common barriers. Recognizing them is key.
So what's the first one?
A big one is still the stigma around mental health. Unfortunately, in many places, talking about feelings is seen as private or maybe even a sign of weakness.
Like you're supposed to just tough it out.
Right. There's this fear of being seen as broken. But we really need to reframe that. Checking in is an act of strength. It's like an athlete monitoring their body. It's smart self-care, not fragility. The article even points to resources on breaking down mental health myths.
That's a really important shift in perspective. Okay, what else?
Another huge one is just the busyness of everyday life. Our schedules are crammed. Self-reflection can feel like a luxury we just don't have time for.
I think everyone can relate to that one.
For sure. But the reframe here is that check-ins don't need to be long, elaborate rituals. A 30-second pause while your coffee brews before you start your car. That counts. Micro moments matter.
So it's not about adding another hour-long task to the list.
Not at all. Then there's fear of facing emotions. Sometimes, honestly, we might avoid checking in because we're scared of what we might find.
Like, what if I uncover sadness or anger I don't want to deal with?
Exactly. Avoidance feels easier in the moment, but the truth is, ignored emotions don't disappear. They usually just get louder or come out sideways. Facing them in small doses, regularly, is actually much more manageable than waiting until they explode into a crisis.
Makes sense. And the last barrier.
It's often a simple lack of tools or guidance. People might think, okay, I should check in. But how? It can feel a bit vague.
Like, where do you even start?
Right. But it could be as simple as asking, what am I feeling right now? Just one question. And this is where structured tools, maybe like guided prompts in an app like Ava Mind, can really help. They give you a starting point.
So thinking about those barriers, the stigma, the busyness, fear of emotions, not knowing how, which one feels most familiar to you listening? What usually stops you from checking in? All right, we've talked about why it matters, the science, the barriers.
Yeah.
Let's get practical. How can people actually start doing these check-ins? What are some methods?
Yeah, let's make it concrete. And remember, consistency is usually more important than complexity here.
Good point.
So for self-reflection practices, the blog mentions a few. Journaling is classic. Just writing down thoughts can reveal so much.
Even just bullet points.
Totally. Or try a 3-word check-in. Just pick 3 words that capture how you feel right now. Quick, simple.
I like that. What else?
A body scan. This is really powerful. Just noticing physical sensations, tension in your shoulders, tightness in your chest, butterflies in your stomach. Your body often knows things before your conscious mind does. It's called interoception.
Tuning into the body's signals. Okay, what about involving others?
That's the other side of the coin. Conversations with others. Sometimes talking it out helps.
Like with friends or family.
Yeah, but really asking, how are you really? And being prepared to listen. Or maybe setting up an accountability partner, someone you agree to check in with regularly.
That could be helpful for staying consistent.
Definitely. And then, of course, there's professional support therapists, counselors, for when you need more structured or deeper guidance.
Which brings us to the role of digital tools and AI. They seem uniquely positioned to help with consistency and accessibility, right?
Absolutely. They're playing a really interesting and, I think, important role. Let's take Ava Mind as an example again.
Okay.
One huge advantage is accessibility. Your phone is almost always with you, so an app offers support 24/7 anywhere. That breaks down huge barriers compared to traditional appointments.
Right. No waiting weeks for an appointment just for a quick check-in.
Exactly. And then there's personalization through AI. This is where it gets really smart.
Yeah.
Ava, for instance, uses principles from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Which is a well-established therapy method, right? Helps with changing thought patterns.
Precisely. So Ava isn't just static content. It converses with you, text or voice. It can offer prompts tailored to how you're feeling, notice patterns over time, suggest specific tools like a breathing exercise or an affirmation. It learns and adapts. Ava Mind calls this move towards connected care.
So it's more interactive than just reading an article or listening to a generic track.
Much more. And AI is great at encouraging consistency. Gentle reminders, different ways to engage text, voice, audio content, celebrating when you do check in. It helps build that habit.
Looking at the Ava Mind app specifically, it seems to bundle a lot of these ideas. They have the AI therapy and counseling chat, text and voice. Users say it feels like talking to a friend.
And that natural interaction is key.
And a mood tracker and insights tool.
So you can log emotions and see trends.
Right. Plus daily affirmations, an audio library with audio blogs, sleep tracks, focus music, and structured guides and collections on topics like stress or anxiety.
It covers a lot of ground.
Users seem to appreciate the thoughtful guidance, the safe space feel, and that it helps them reflect without judgment. And they're focusing on privacy, too. No account needed to start talking, no tracking, aiming for on-device AI. That seems really important for mental health tech.
That privacy focus is critical for building trust, definitely. And all these tools really support creating rituals and routines, tying a check-in to something you already do. Your morning coffee, your commute, before bed makes it stick.
Like making it as normal as brushing your teeth.
Exactly that.
Now, it's interesting to think about this globally. Are mental health check-ins a purely Western thing, or do we see similar ideas elsewhere?
That's a great point. The core idea of self-awareness is universal, but how it's practiced varies hugely.
How so?
Well, in Western cultures, there's growing openness, but cost and access are still big hurdles. So apps like Ava Mind fill a gap, offering an affordable first step.
Okay.
In many Eastern traditions, practices like mindfulness and meditation has centered on self-awareness for centuries. Think Buddhism, yoga. Though stigma around talking about mental health issues can still exist.
So the practice is ancient, but the conversation might still be evolving.
Right. Then you look at some African and Middle Eastern cultures, and well-being is often very community-focused. Gatherings, storytelling, religious practices, these can be forms of collective emotional processing, blending now with digital tools for younger people.
Interesting. What about Latin America?
There, emotional expression is often more openly encouraged, and family ties are strong support systems. But access to formal mental health care can be uneven, so digital tools offer valuable supplementary support.
So different methods, different cultural expressions.
But the underlying human need to understand ourselves and our emotions, that's everywhere.
And this brings us to a really crucial distinction. These check-ins, these tools, they're incredibly valuable for self-care and awareness.
But they don't replace professional help when it's needed. That's vital to understand.
Right. They empower you, but they aren't therapy in the clinical sense.
Exactly. Think of a check-in as a bit like taking your temperature. It gives you information. Sometimes that information tells you that you need more than self-care. You need a doctor, or in this case, a therapist or counselor.
So what are the signs? When does a check-in signal, okay, I need more support?
The blog mentions some clear red flags. Things like feeling low or anxious consistently for several weeks. Really struggling with basic daily functioning, eating, sleeping, working.
When your usual coping strategies just aren't working anymore.
Yes, or if you're having thoughts of hopelessness or, crucially, any thoughts of self-harm, those are immediate signals to seek professional help.
Your check-in acts like a compass, pointing you towards the right kind of care, whether it's self-care, community support, or professional help.
Precisely. And digital tools can be a bridge here too, offering immediate conversational support and encouraging users to connect with professionals when those flags appear. Ava Mind, for example, has Ava Connect to help users find licensed professionals.
It's worth reflecting on for everyone listening. How does your own cultural background influence how you think about mental health? And maybe think about a time you realized you needed help beyond what you could manage alone. What was the turning point for you? So, wrapping things up, the big takeaway here is the quiet power of consistent mental health check-ins.
Yeah, they build that crucial self-awareness. They stop stress from escalating unseen. They really do strengthen your ability to navigate challenges.
It's not a quick fix, is it? It's more like tending to an ongoing, important relationship, the one you have with yourself.
Well put. The Ava Mind article really drives home that your well-being matters. And making space to consistently honor that truth is where growth and emotional strength really come from.
If you want to explore this more, definitely check out Ava Mind's full blog post for deeper insights.
And you might want to explore the Ava Mind app itself for tools that support calm and reflection.
You can read the full blog on the Ava Mind website. We'll put the link in the description for this deep dive.
And just so you know, if you prefer a shorter version, or maybe want to listen to the blog read aloud, those options are available only inside the Ava Mind app.
Right, and the app also has those tools we mentioned: mood tracking, well-being insights,
Mindfulness audio, sleep tracks, meditation guides.
and the real-time conversations with Ava, using text or just talking naturally like you would on the phone.
Yeah, the voice interaction is pretty seamless.
We'll be back with more thoughts soon.
Stay curious.